Hey guys, how you doing? This is MMPR94 and today I'm going to bring you a very special video. Now on my channel I have done a series of video game reviews and stuff. I've done the Super Nintendo, the Sega Mega Drive, also known as Genesis in North America. I have done the Nintendo with Nintendo Classic, but today I'm going to bring you a really special video. Now back in the 90s, as you know, it was a very good decade for stuff. There was a lot of wars going on. When I say wars, I mean, like, there was, like, you had, for example, I'll give you a prime example. In the 90s, mid-90s, there was two wrestling companies. The WWE, which then was known as the World Wrestling Federation, and World Championship Wrestling, WCW, and they launched two wrestling shows, WWF Raw and WCW Nitro, and they went ahead together, and that was known as the Monday Night War. Then you had stuff like Bill Gates and internet browser companies went head to head, known as the Browser Wars, where, you know, they fought over where to get internet from, which was interesting. But what I'm here today to tell you about is the 16-bit war, which was basically a war between Sega's Mega Drive, Genesis, and Nintendo's Super Nintendo Entertainment System. So I'm going to give you the ins and outs of both consoles. I'm going to show them. Then I'm going to do each category as I go along: controllers, cartridges, show you the both systems, the games, and then after I discuss all that, I'm going to play 6 games for you. So first of all, I'm going to do Super Mario World and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. There's an adventure there because I was playing Sonic Adventure 2, or I was playing Sonic Adventure quite recently on my Dreamcast. So when I go to say Sonic the Hedgehog, just Adventure comes out. So I'm going to do Super Mario World and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I would be amiss if I didn't do both systems mascots, Mario and Sonic. Then after that, I'm going to compare the two Turtle games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Turtles in Time, which is on Super Nintendo, and then I'm going to cover the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist on the Sega Mega Drive. I'm going to play the first 2 levels of both so I can compare how it looks, how it sounds, because they're pretty much the same game, only with minor differences. And then the last game that I'm going to show you that I have to compare is the 2 Power Ranger games, and they're very different. But I'm just comparing them so you can see what one's better and what one's rubbish. And then after that there, I'm going to discuss the difference between games which I don't have. Like, I've got games for the Super Nintendo, but I haven't got a similar game for the Mega Drive. So I'm just going to discuss that. So before that there introduction, I am going to introduce you to what I believe is one of the greatest game systems ever made. The Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now this is the PAL version, also the Super Famicom. The only difference is it's a Super Famicom here instead of Super Nintendo, but it's pretty much the same design. Which I have to admit, you know, the Americans got a different design, which I am going to show you right now. As you can see, it is, in my opinion, it is a grey, ugly brick with purple buttons. I mean, I just love the design we got, the Super Famicom and the PAL Super Nintendo. So it's just a great wee system. You know, power button, reset button. I've done a detailed review of my Super Nintendo on my channel, so you want to check that out. So that's the Super Nintendo. So I will now move on to the Sega Mega Drive, which is this little chappy here. Now, there's 2 models of the Sega Mega Drive. There is Model 1 and Model 2. Now, I never had Model 1, and to be honest with you, I'm not really a fan of Model 1. So I always prefer Model 2, but then there's a lot of, I mean, I found out on Facebook that, you know, a lot of people were telling me, well, I drew a cover art for this video, and of course, obviously, you've seen it at the start of the video, and a lot of people were telling me, why didn't I draw Model 1? Well, simple answer is, I don't have Model 1, so it'd be silly me drawing Model 1 and then show Model 2, but I prefer Model 2. I just think it's a nice, slimmer, sleeker model. The red buttons, and I enjoy this, so I do. The only downside between I'll just show both of them side by side. Now I like to make jokes that my video game setup at my TV, I have my Nintendo 64 and my GameCube between the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo, and I think they're holding them back because they were pure rivals. They're like going because they hate each other. But it was just the competition was so fierce. But they're not bad looking systems. Love how that looks. I love how that looks. But as you can see, they're totally different. Black, white. You know, it's just very good designs. Right, I'm going to show you Model 1 just a second. As you can see, they look completely different. You know, the picture you just seen there, and then the Model 2. But I've always had Model 2, so I prefer Model 2. Plus, Model 2 connects better into the Sega CD. And I guess, same as my Super Nintendo, I have done a review of my Sega Mega Drive, so just check that on my channel too. On that there, I did 4 games, Super Hang-On, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, and Sonic Hedgehog 2. But you'll see that later on in the video. So, Model 2. I think if I was to rate because this is a versus video, in terms of modeling, in terms of the models, I have to give it to Super Nintendo. But if I lived in America, I would give it to the Mega Drive, because I still protest that the American Super Nintendo is an ugly brick. And you know, I mean, why did they have to have a different design? I don't get it at all. Because the Super Famicom and the PAL Super Nintendo was a lovely design. I don't get it, but I suppose that's just America for you. They have to be different, don't they? Right, I will move on to controllers. Right, so we're going to do controllers now. So I'm going to start with the Super Nintendo. Now, I have always thought this to be a decent controller. You know, as you know yourself, the Nintendo controller was very revolutionary. It was the first controller to have a D-pad, 2 buttons, a start and a pause button. And then when Nintendo released the Super Nintendo, they upgraded it even more. As you can see, the D-pad, the start, but the only difference is they added 2 more buttons, the X and Y button, and they added shoulder buttons. Now this is a pretty decent controller. The only downside I will give it is, if you're playing a game for like a long time, say Street Fighter, your thumb gets really messed up on the D-pad. As I noticed a couple of times, because with Street Fighter 2 it can be quite difficult, and when you're doing Hadokens with Ryu and all that stuff, you can really do your thumb in. But for that's the only downside of this controller. The difference between the American controller and the PAL and Super Famicom controller is the color buttons. Now I think the color buttons look amazing. Some people think that the color buttons look childish and prefer the purple and grey buttons, but no, I disagree. I think them color buttons are amazing, and I don't even think I could use the American SNES controller, because the grey and purple buttons are just dull as anything. But you know, color buttons all day long. Right, move on to the Sega Mega Drive controller. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not particularly a big fan of this controller. The D-pad's okay. D-pad's alright. It's one of them ones, you know, that, you know, goes all around. But the fact that it has 3 buttons, A, B and C, and they're quite, you know, stiff buttons. Well, mine's a wee bit, I've had this controller a while and it's not the best. It doesn't really work as well anymore. Then you have a start button. So it's only got 3 buttons. It's got no select button and it's got no shoulder buttons. So if I was to do a versus on controllers, Super Nintendo gets it every time. Because it's just, my reason for giving Super Nintendo the win in controllers is 4 buttons and the shoulder buttons and a select button. So, sorry Sega fans. I'm trying my best to show no bias between either system. I'm going to try and be as honest and straight down the middle as I can. But the Sega Mega Drive controller is okay. but it's just, I mean, for example, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, it's just not good enough. As in with the Super Nintendo controller, you have the shoulder buttons, you've got the four face buttons, you've got the four face buttons. You know, you can do a lot more combos and attacks with that controller than that controller, to be honest. So, sorry guys, Super Nintendo controller wins. Right, move on to cartridges. So, I will start with the Mega Drive first. Now, the cartridges aren't bad now. They're small, they're compact, they're decent. They're not too bad now. Of course, the green cartridge I have is Sonic Hedgehog 2. Now, the difference between the PAL Sega cartridges and the American Sega cartridges is it's just, instead of saying Sega Mega Drive, it says Sega Genesis. So it's pretty good. Then if I bring in the Super Nintendo cartridge, of course the game I have here is Super Mario All-Stars plus Super Mario World. And the size difference, I mean the Super Nintendo, the Sega cartridge is tiny compared to the Super Nintendo cartridges. I mean, look at that. Look, you can actually fit the Sega cartridge within the space of the Super Nintendo cartridge. So it's, you know, I like this design. I just think, you know, I'm going to call this one a draw. Bigger, smaller, but they still look good, and they look good in their respective systems. Right. So actually no, sorry, I actually forgot a bit. In terms of cartridges, a draw. But in terms of their cases they come in, their cases, I'm going to give that one to Sega. Because they have dual cases. Now I haven't got a dual case to show you. But it's a nice box case, you open it and all. As in the Super Nintendo cartridges just come in a box and you pull it out and it's got the book and stuff. So I'm not particularly a fan of that. I'm more a fan of the dual case. So that's the only thing I'm going to give the Sega, the cartridge wise. So style of cartridges, draw, the case they go in, and giving that to Sega. Now, before I move on, I'm going to show you, I know it's a versus, I know it's Sega versus Nintendo, but I have to show this. I do have an American SNES cartridge, which is there, and then I'll show you the difference between the PAL. Now, I love the PAL cartridges. They just look so sleek and nice design. I'm not a big fan of the American cartridges. They're like that, obviously, so they look well to go with the American SNES, but I just so prefer the. Of course, the game I have here is Final Fantasy 3, also known as 6. Sorry, I think I should go right around. Final Fantasy 6, but back then it was known as 3, because what happened was outside of Japan, there was in Japan there was 6 Final Fantasies. But in the United States we got Final Fantasy. Then they released 2 and 3 in Japan, but they weren't released in America. So when Final Fantasy 4 came out, it wouldn't have made sense to call it Final Fantasy 4, so they just called it Final Fantasy 2. And then we got 5, which didn't get released outside Japan. And then 6, of course it wouldn't make sense to call it 6, so they just called it 3. And then whenever Sony and Nintendo fell out and Sony released the PlayStation, and they got Squaresoft jumped from Nintendo to Sony. Sony decided to just release Final Fantasy 7, and then that's where the confusion began. But nice wee bit of trivia for you. So American cartridge, PAL cartridge, not a fan. Love these. So right, I'm going to move on to. Before I move on, I'm going to say about the connections and stuff. The type of plugs, Nintendo plug is a normal plug and it's got a power pack on it, which is a pretty decent plug. As in the Sega plug, it's the brick thing you put into the socket. I mean, I don't know why they ever do that with anything, because it takes up room in your power adapters and your power sockets and stuff, and then you have to end up pulling stuff out and you can't get room. So that's just a wee tip for you for the power supplies. Right, I'm going to connect my Sega, I'm going to connect my Super Nintendo, and I'm going to show you a couple of games. So bear with me while I set up the systems and enjoy the next bit of the video, guys. Right, Super Mario All-Stars plus Mario World. Right, so that is Super Mario World. I'll now pause the video and I will now put on Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Right, here we go. Sonic Hedgehog 2. Right, I'm going to play Emerald Hill Zone and the Chemical Plant Zone. Now I'm sorry if it looks like I'm sucking here, but as I say, my B button's a wee bit dodgy, so if I get hit by an enemy, it's just because the B button sticks a bit. Right, that is Super Mario World and Sonic. That's Super Mario World and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Two of the very best games that you'll get on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Mega Drive. I'm not really comparing these two because they're completely different games. I just thought I would showcase two of the better games on both systems. And plus, because Sonic is Sega's mascot and Mario is Nintendo's mascot, so I will now move on to the Turtle games. So just give me a sec to get that set up. Right, here we go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. 4 Turtles in Time.
Big Apple, 3 a.m. Pussycat Blues.
Right, well, that is the first two stages from Turtles in Time. Right, I'm now going to switch to the Sega Mega Drive and put in the Hyperstone Heist. Here we go, Hyperstone Heist. Right, that is the two Turtle games back to back. As you can see, the two are almost identical. I done those 2 stages in Turtles in Time, and the first stage, as you can see, is the first 3 stages in Turtles in Time. So I don't know why they did that for the Hyperstone Heist, but they basically are the same game. The only difference is graphics and the sound. And I'll get to the sound and graphics whenever I finish the gameplay of all my games I'm doing. So, right, this is going to wrap up part 1 of the Sega versus Super Nintendo review video. So I hope you've enjoyed the first part. Please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and leave a comment in the bottom, let you know what you think of the video. You know what, how good a job I'm doing and stuff. So, because I enjoy making these videos. So subscribe to my channel, like the video, make a comment on what you think of it. So, right, I will get ahead to making part 2, and I will see you around, guys. Okay, cheerio.